Hey guys, what's going on? It's been a long time since I made a video to update my medical situation, so I thought, why not do it now? Like it's been a bit. So the reason it's been a while is just because I simply haven't felt like making a video talking about my medical conditions and uh, things like that because I feel shitty and I just am not in the mood for it. I get tired of talking about it. But at the same time, I appreciate people that reach out and send me messages and um, ask how I'm doing because it feels good. I'm very, very, very isolated because I keep myself that way. Just because physically I feel so bad. I sleep a lot. I go to doctor's appointments, and I just try to get through the day because most of the time I I just don't know how things are going to go, how I'm going to feel, what my body's going to do, things of that sort. So I just prefer to sleep, and that's just the truth. So I haven't made any videos because I don't really have any dramatic news to share from where I was the last time I made a video. I've just been working on healing and gaining weight, gaining muscle, and getting myself prepared for the next step. So, what's the next step? The next step is more surgery, um, to not rehash everything that happened and everything like that. You guys that have been following along or whatever that know me know that my intestine ruptured in 2018 on Christmas morning. Um, this was after being hospitalized for 3 weeks with lots of symptoms of bleeding and all kinds of stuff. And I was misdiagnosed over and over again. And on Christmas morning, my colon finally burst open and I went septic. So that's not good. And I had emergency surgery to try to fix what was going on, and they can't fix what's going on when something rips open like that. And so they had to remove part of it and all this fun stuff, and everything's been disconnected. And I stayed in the hospital collectively for 6 months, trying to get better. But the problem that kept occurring was because of the sepsis, because of the inflammation, because of the misdiagnosis, because of the wrong medications, because of all of the complications that went on, there were so many problems. And as these problems were occurring, I was losing weight 90 miles an hour. And I went from around 200 pounds when I was admitted down to 138 pounds in 6 weeks' time. I didn't believe that until I finally was weighed, and I cried for days because anybody that's into fitness or bodybuilding or any of that kind of thing, it takes a lot of work to get to where you get. And it took me a lot of work to get to where I was. And even if that wasn't the case, to have such a dramatic change, such a drastic change in such a short period of time, it is just unbelievable. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like you're trapped in a body that you don't even know. Um, I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything on my own, and everything internally was jacked up and didn't work anymore. So I was stuck on my back in a bed for months, and couldn't move, couldn't walk. Finally got like therapy and stuff like that to relearn things and recondition my system and whatever. But it was it was just a joke. I mean, it was ridiculous. Anyway, I going off on a tangent because I relive this stuff when I talk about it, and I absolutely just I'm angry as fuck about it still. Um, so I have been doing everything I can to avoid being readmitted back into the hospital. I was readmitted a lot, like 8 different times, life squad and all this stuff, because things would happen And initially I was, I was hooked to all kinds of tubes, IVs. You know how that goes, where they're throwing everything at you. You're on every drug and all kinds of stuff, pain pump, all this, whatever. And I just slowly getting back to myself was coming off of these things and pushing these things away. And, I only want what's absolutely necessary. And, when can I eat again? And this and that. I want to go to the gym and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But anyway, fast forward to where I am right now. I'm off of all of the prescriptions that pertain to Crohn's disease, which is what I was ultimately diagnosed with. And it's interesting because I've talked to and met a lot of people that have Crohn's diagnosis and things like that, and everyone's sort of got a similar but very different story. And I don't know. I mean, I empathize with people, but I don't want to live this way. I don't want to live with a diagnosis over my head, and I don't want to live with these complications. And so when I was able to, I guess, get to the point where I could travel and whatever, I ended up going to the Cleveland Clinic and consulting with specialists there, because they specialize in reconstructive surgery of the GI tract and Crohn's disease, autoimmune disease, and all this stuff. And so I consulted with them, spoke with surgeons. They had a really big meeting about my case. Came back and we talked about things, and the thing was I just needed to heal because my inflammatory markers were so high, and I still had a lot of deficiencies and nutrition-wise, malnutrition and things of that sort. And I needed to gain weight. I needed to build my integrity back up of my body before I could withstand any type of surgery. One of the complications that I had when they did my surgery is because of the sepsis and everything like that. My body developed these things called fistulas. And the fistulas, they just are these little tubules, I guess you could say, or branches that just develop under high inflammation. And they go from like my digestive tract out to my skin. So like they're holes. So use your imagination, because that's what it's like. Blood, shit, pus, whatever comes out of them. So I have constant wound care and all kinds of stuff that I have to adhere to and keep up on, and it's insane. There's days I'm changing bandages 20 times a day. And I'm tired. I'm completely tired of doing this. There's just no more to say about that, and I don't want to do this anymore. So I go to my doctor's appointments and whatever. I get monthly IV therapies, which is in the class of like chemotherapy. It hones in on your digestive system and gets rid of. It helps regulate like autoimmune responses that are going on in your body. But I'm at the max dosage of that. It's terrible. I feel like garbage for at least a week afterwards. It makes my symptoms so much worse. And I talk to people that have been doing this for years, and I'm just not one of them. I'm not going to do it. That's all there is to say about that, because I'm not going to live that way. It's a very, very poor quality of life, and I commend people that are able to keep doing this, but I'm not one of them. I want peace. I want to be able to go to the gym. I want to be able to eat food normally and be healthy and functional. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. And I guess I'm stubborn like that, because there's nobody that's going to talk me out of that. So I called the doctor the other day and I said I wanted to talk to the surgeon because I was tired of waiting. And I've had several doctor's appointments locally and um, with Cleveland Clinic and everything. So I met with the Cleveland Clinic surgeon the other day and we had a conversation, and he said that he's comfortable proceeding with surgery, and the goal is to obviously put me back together and get me normal as much as possible. But there's no guarantees. But he says that he thinks that I'm far enough along and I've made enough progress that they can proceed with surgery. So with that said, I said let's do it because I'm just at the point I don't want to wait anymore. And the longer I wait, the worse off emotionally I'm getting, and physically too. Like, it's like there's no life with what I'm doing right now, and so I just, if I wait another 3 months, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to retain my sanity for that period of time because I feel like I'm going crazy. So, but that's getting scheduled and it's tentatively set right now for the end of March. So, they're going to do this really big complex surgery, which I appreciate them doing because about 7 months ago they wanted to take out my colon completely and all this stuff and leave me with a ileostomy bag, which is just a bag that would be plugged in right here, connected to my small intestine, and I would just have that there for the rest of my life. Instead of going to the bathroom, it would just go in there. So I don't want to live with that forever. Since my surgery, I've had a colostomy, which is here, which is a pouch that collects everything and has to be emptied and stuff like that. And that's just been tolerable enough. And I just, if something is temporary, I'll deal with it if I see a light at the end of the tunnel. But when you say I have to live with it forever, it's a different story. So anyway, I told the doctor that I really, really needed him to be capable of going outside the textbook, outside the box. And I don't care if he had to invent a procedure, but he needed to be willing to try. Otherwise, I need a new surgeon to like put me back together again. And I don't care what that looks like, like if you have to like do a surgery you've never done before or invent it or something, because you see these things all the time, like on TV, where it's like these miracle surgeries, like, what was the one? The lady gets her face ripped off by a monkey, and then they put a new face on the on the woman. Sorry, I'm getting all wound up, cussing and stuff, but they put a new face on her. The one guy, he was fighting somewhere. What was it? I don't know where it was. It was just Afghanistan or something. And his penis got blown off, and they did a penis transplant on him. So it's like, you can do all these things, but you can't put my intestines back together again. Like, somebody out there needs to be able to do that. So I just am saying to him, like, we need to figure this out. So he agreed, and he said it would be a 2 to 3 part surgery, and that's fine with me. I just want progress. So the plan is to go in there and start renovating, pretty much. So that's where I'm at right now. I won't get into what they're going to do because it's boring, but I mean, the process is to put things together again. It's not going to happen in one surgery, and it might not happen in 2, it might be 3 surgeries, as long as everything goes fine. Worst case scenario, they go in there, they go, this is way worse than we expected, and now we have to remove this and that, whatever. And I told him if he if he goes in there and pulls out my intestine and has to get rid of it and start cutting things out, he's gonna leave me, you know, without all these parts and stuff like that to just not wake me up. So he didn't think that was funny, but I'm like, dude, I'm not playing. So please don't send me anything shitty saying don't talk like that or anything and give me some lecture on how I should be grateful, because I am grateful. You just have to understand that, we're not all the same. We're not all wired the same. And like I said earlier, I commend people that are able to do a lot of this stuff. I worked in the medical field for a long time and met lots of people that I would say, I don't know how you do it. And it's all very situational. Had you asked me, would I be able to do what I'm doing right now in this moment, like 5 years ago, ask me that, I would say no. So I don't know what I'm going to do until that moment arises. I'm just telling you that my colorful imagination tells me no, and I don't want to do it, but who knows? So just save the bullshit, save the ugly talk and all that stuff for somebody else, because I don't want to hear it. Um, I, uh, I guess my goals, like moving forward though, are I just want to get better. I want to gain weight and get back to where I was. It's pretty simple. And I want everybody that has been like plugged into what's been going on and that have stayed in touch, just to understand how much I appreciate it, because there's a lot of people that I've had to disconnect from or just let go or watch them walk away. Not because of my medical issues, just because of the energy, the vibe, the toxicity of some conversations or just attitudes and things like that. I realized through this process that I have so many people around me a lot that think they know me or they think they understand me, and I've been more hyper aware, not sensitive, but hyper aware of the people that I'm engaging with. And I realized that a lot of people that I was referring to as friends and stuff, they're not friends. Um, I've had family that just has completely disappeared since all this went on, and I'm not holding any grudges or anything like that. I'm just sort of in awe over it because I'm not that way. Um, if you're friends with me or we're close and something happens to you, I almost feel like it's happening to me, so I'm not going anywhere. Um, but through this process, I've been really like humbled by the fact that what you think and who you think you know and all that stuff like that isn't always true. And so to the ones that have been there from the beginning of all of this and before all of this, or people that have come around during all of this, just thank you so much, because um, it keeps me hopeful, but at the same time, like, I just, it shows me who people really are, I guess. So I don't want to make this a real negative video because I want to tell everybody some of the things that have happened, but it's like, what does that matter? It just gets me riled up. But there's a lot of mean assholes out there. And I deleted like almost 1,000 people off my Facebook because of it. So um, I don't know. It's interesting. So anyway, I hope this updates you guys. I'll try to touch base because whether you want to know about it or not, all you have to do is click past this video if you don't want to hear what I have to say. If you do, here it is. But it's just a way to communicate with what's happening right now. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I'll know more in about 2 weeks, and then hopefully in that time, nothing changes or gets worse, But I would like to, if you guys are interested, if you know anybody that's got Crohn's disease, autoimmune disease or something, um, my whole profession since I've been 18 years old, and I'm like, God, I'm like really old now, has always been in health, some way, shape, or form, whether it's been physical fitness or it's been medical or it's been nutrition or anything like that. I've got a lot of experience and training in many different areas, and I enjoy this stuff. I do this stuff for my own entertainment, but I love to like share it. So whether you agree or not is not what I really give a damn about. If you don't agree with something, like that's kind of the theme of this whole generation right now. Is if you don't agree with something, just move on past it. Like you don't have to spew some bullshit. Like no one gives a shit what you have to say when you don't care. Like just it's just you don't have to have an opinion about everything. Keep your shit to yourself, whatever. But it's like there's things that interest me. That's what I share on Facebook. Things that intrigue me. That's what I share on Facebook. Something that sparks my attention. That's what I share. Everything that I share is not always necessarily what I believe and subscribe to. It just means that, oh my God, this is what I just saw. This is what I read. This is something that I find intriguing right now. And a lot of it's fleeting, It's like it's here on in front of me one moment and then it's gone. So it's not always that serious. If it's really serious, I'll say that it's serious, Or if you don't know, ask. But not everything needs to be so inflammatory. And with that said, I've learned a lot of things during this journey, and that I'm still learning about nutrition and supplementation and functional medicine and things like that. And I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but I want to say this. So take it however you want to. I don't give myself credit for the improvements that I know that I've made. Okay, I acknowledge them, but they're not good enough for me. But when I talk to the doctors and I talk to the nurses and I talk to the therapists and I talk to the people that are on this medical team, they're just like, you're doing so well. Everything is so insanely amazing. Oh my God, So I've started to listen to that, hear that, because what I'm doing and the choices I'm making are working, and I'm doing a lot of reading and a lot of research and stuff like that, and applying a lot of it. Like I said, I'm off of the medications that a lot of people end up staying on. I am using essential oils, which a lot of you know, and they're not the cure for any of this at all. So I got some shitty messages. I said I wasn't going to say anything, but I have to. I got shitty messages from people saying, oh, I guess your oils didn't work, which is just so stupid, because that's never, ever been a claim or anything that I've ever said, But you know what my oils have done? They kept me off of antidepressants, they kept me off of anxiety medication, they kept me off of sleeping medication, and they keep me feeling level. They keep my mind clear, they keep me grounded. But you know what I have to do with these things that a lot of people don't want to do or something, they just want to take a pill and, say, oh, I'm depressed or something like that, is it takes a little bit of like effort, and you gotta wanna like heal. You gotta wanna know what it feels like to feel better. These drugs don't do that. And I'm saying that because if you want to argue with me about it, bring it on. But it's like I have been told at almost every appointment that I've gone to that I should be taking antidepressants. And I ask, why? Well, because you seem depressed. Okay, well, I'm not. Well, it will help you feel better. Well, you know what? You know what's going to help me feel better? To actually get better. Well, it'll help you to be more motivated. Oh, let me tell you something. I'm motivated. I just am unmotivated to do anything because of the way my body is. Um, there's nothing worse than being out in public and you have a bag of crap on you that is just hanging there that I'm constantly aware of, that it's like at any given moment, this or that could happen. And like I said, I got a colorful imagination and I just don't want to do it. That's all. I'm not depressed. I'm pissed off and I'm sad. Big difference being depressed. We can all be depressed and say we're depressed and say we have anxiety and all these things. But the reality is, and I'm not diminishing that for anybody, you all have your own stories, and please don't take whatever I'm saying the wrong way. What I mean is that it's really important to put things into perspective. And if I am really being honest with myself, I have a right to be angry and sad. I have a right to be depressed because of what I've gone through. But medication is not going to make any of that change. And in order to heal, I have to go through the healing process. If I want to medicate myself throughout that process, am I going to heal ever? Am I going to really heal? My answer is no. So I'm going through it. I'm feeling it. I'm experiencing it. And I use my essential oils to get me through it. And that's what the beauty of those are. I have done antidepressants in the past. There's reasons why I'm the way that I am when it comes to how I take, why I take my health so seriously and stuff like that. Because I've experienced a lot of these things that are out there. I've seen patients, I've seen people go through the ups and downs and the roller coaster of all of these pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. They're never the answer. So they can get you from here to here. They can help you to get from here to here and this and that, whatever, but they're not the answer. You're not deficient in a drug. It's not the answer. So just hear what I'm saying. If you don't like it, move on. But aside from the oils and stuff like that, I'm doing my supplements and I've changed my nutrition dramatically. And that's something that I would love to talk about. So if you guys want to know more about it, this video got way longer than I intended. But if you want to know more about it, I'm happy to share about it, and I would love to, just unveil a lot of the information that I've learned. So anyway, I'm gonna stop, and I hope everybody's doing great, and I will keep you guys posted as to what things are, where things are going, and how things are progressing. All right. Peace and be awesome always. And yeah, stay radical, bitches.